Alright folks, welcome back to the pod. It's 2020.
That's it. Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year. Happy New Decade.
New decade.
It's the Roaring 20s.
It is the Roaring 20s.
We're gonna call it. That's what I'm seeing around. I'm gonna jump on it as well. Since it's the last decade's over, we were just talking about who's the best player of the decade, or even a top 5 we could do. But who's your player of the decade?
Player of the decade has to be hands down LeBron.
It has to be, yeah. I agree.
Undisputed.
Yeah,
I would say. Even though he retired probably a few years later, was maybe Timmy Duncan.
Yeah, agree. I mentioned Tim Duncan in a separate conversation because he played till 2015, 16, right?
16, yeah.
And he won a couple of championships in the first half. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, LeBron, 3 chips, 2 different franchises as well.
And then how many finals straight? It was like 10 years of finals.
Yeah, exactly. Finals straight, exactly. So just pure all-round domination of the league. It has to be LeBron. Mm-hmm. Funnily enough, some people are saying Steph should get a serious mention as well because he's changed the game, right?
He has changed the game, but he probably came in later, but 2005, 2006?
Into the league.
Into the league?
Yeah, I think even 7 or something, because he played 4 years at Davidson. Yeah. And he had ankle issues and things like that. Warriors weren't brilliant.
Yeah, he wasn't great at the start until maybe a couple of years into it.
Really, they got going, I think, 2014, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they might have made the playoffs 2014, then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, something like that.
Yep.
But purely because he changed the game, he gets a mention. I think Dirk Nowitzki, given he won a championship, is in the conversation. There's players like D Wade, again, first half of the decade.
Yeah.
KD, obviously.
KD.
James Harden.
Yeah, you could say Harden, but I don't know. He hasn't really dominated. He's dominated regular season.
Yeah,
you could say.
He's had a couple of significant injuries as well.
Yeah.
So. But without doubt, the teens belong to LeBron. And he's still going. Just turned 35 and he's still going, right? So
he's like, I don't know what that rest did to him. Like, he had a long rest.
Yeah, he had 5-6 months off.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever had that.
And it's just rejuvenated him.
He made a few movies in that time, but I think he might have rested up his body a fair bit as well.
He's got his young legs back.
That's it, young Bron. All right, best championship team in the decade. Obviously, same team won multiple championships, but individual seasons, teams change. Year to year. What's your pick as the best team that won a championship?
All right, you'd have to really look at it and look at what other teams did they play against, right?
Yeah.
And I'm leaning towards that 72-win team.
You're talking about Warriors?
Yeah.
But they lost that year.
Yeah, I know they lost.
73-9.
Yeah, I know.
They lost.
But just that team.
Yeah, they had a good regular season.
But then they had injuries just hit them in the...
I think
in the finals
Draymond got suspended.
Yeah, Draymond did the stupid thing, got suspended.
Was there an injury?
Yeah, there was.
Someone might have missed a game, but...
I think, KD might have missed a game or something
KD didn't play that year.
Yeah.
KD joined the year after.
Yeah.
But
I think maybe it was Thompson.
I think Clay might have missed a game.
Yeah.
But in terms of championship team, I'd have to actually go with Miami. The whole Miami versus San Antonio.
Yep.
They were probably matched as equally as each other for a good couple of years, right? So I'd say Miami going 7 games against San Antonio when they came back and won.
Yep.
I think that's probably the best team, best evenly matched teams, and then winning it. I think that was the best series.
Was that the one where they signed Ray Allen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ray hit that 3-point shot. Remember when Chris Bruns got the rebound, threw it out, and he hit it, and it went to overtime.
Yep.
And obviously we can't forget the other amazing 7-game final series, Cavs Warriors, right? That's just pure comeback and storylines and winning the first chip for Cavaliers.
Yeah, with a team full of nobodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
LeBron carrying.
That's probably the other team, and obviously we've got to acknowledge the Warriors and the Spurs as other brilliant teams of the decade, and how quickly those dynasties fall over is something that I've read about, but you don't really expect it. It's pretty interesting when they do fall over, actually.
Yeah, they sort of fell over. I don't know, it's just this whole free agency model, I reckon, has made it so that you don't get that sort of dynasty anymore.
It is hard with the cap restrictions as well, it is hard to hold on. But once you've got it, you got to ride with it all the way, right? You kind of understand why GMs really, trade all their picks and just once they feel like the window's open, they just go for it. And I think that is the way to go, right?
Yeah, and I think it's more around people. What do you call it? Everyone wants to get paid.
Absolutely.
So if people can, not worry about their own pocket and think about dynasties, definitely comes back.
So that was the decade. Great basketball, lots of memorable finals series, memorable runs as players as well. We can only wait and see what comes in the future decade and who's going to dominate, which new players are going to emerge, and so forth, right? You can already see that, really. Who's got next with Giannis and Luka Doncic as well with what they're doing. So, a lot to look forward to. All right. We were about a week late, but the Christmas Day specials is always good fun for basketball tragics like us and around the world.
And they were awesome games.
6 games, was it this year?
Yeah, I think 5, I think.
5?
Yeah,
5
games.
again. I know what my favourite game was, the Clippers and Lakers, which is good fun.
Yeah, that was probably the best game of the day. Also, the fact that Golden State won.
Yeah, they beat Houston, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's it's pretty insane how they won that game. But I think they won 3 in a row, actually, at one point. 3 or 4 in a row. I also liked Celtics game as well against Toronto. I'm just really happy and surprised, actually, as well, how well Jaylen Brown and Tatum's playing, right? Maybe all along, because we all thought that the storyline when Kyrie was there was that the young players had a big ego and they didn't want to play with him and they weren't willing to grow with him and so forth. But maybe it was Kyrie that was the problem all along.
Maybe it was. He just wants the ball, wants to take all the shots.
Wants to be the leader but doesn't have those pure leadership qualities as well. Which is not a good place to be, but it's great to see.
The other one was I really enjoyed, probably 3/4 of it, was Milwaukee and Sixers.
Oh, yeah.
And the way Joel locked down Giannis.
I mean, that's a big thing for people to work out, right? Do you go big on Giannis?
Yeah.
Do you go small? Small's not working.
Small's not working. He's just too big, too quick.
And
Embiid's probably got the reach and the speed to match him, and Simmons is there as a backup as well.
So, yeah, I think they might be the only threat for Milwaukee coming out of the East this year.
Yeah, not many teams.
Coming out, just touching on Battle for LA, Lakers had that game.
Yeah, they did.
They had their game all the way, but they just froze in quarter 4. LeBron didn't have a great game, I have to say. And they couldn't get the ball to AD. They just couldn't feed him the ball towards the end. And that's a real concern. I think they got exposed with their lack of slashing ability. Aside from LeBron, they don't really have a slashing, shot-creating guard. Obviously there's Rondo, but I'm more talking like a shooting guard. They kept throwing the ball to like Caldwell Pope.
I watched that and I was like, why were you sending it to KCP when Kuzma was on fire? He was just hitting shots, just creating, and should have made. Yeah, but I think he'd been back for like a week and a half or so.
Yep.
Probably didn't want to use him.
He had a good game, Kuzma. Yeah. He's had a couple of good games. I think they do have some issues to fix up in crunch time. Clippers, look, great team. Montrezl Harrell had another great game. Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, Pat Bev.
Had a nice little steal running around like he scored 50 points.
Yeah, I know. But that one where I think when I saw that block and he had that block on LeBron.
The strip. It was more of a strip.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You're a fan, are you?
I was celebrating for the little guy.
He loves himself, man. I don't think he needs any more love. There's a lot of self-love there.
Yeah.
Plenty. So, Christmas Day was good. I was overseas, but recovering after a big night and watched a couple of the games, which is good fun.
It's quite funny that the Clippers have such a small team and they do well against a Laker team that's quite big.
That has to get exposed, I think. It has to. When playoff comes, teams will have to expose them for their lack of size. Like a Denver with Jokic, I think Millsap plays for them as well. So the teams that have size will need to come up with some strategies to expose that, but they have amazing guard play, so we shall see. All right, things to look out for in 2020. What are the storylines? What are the plots that you can envision? I'll go.
Yeah, you go.
I'll go with a couple. I think I think it's looking pretty likely that with Milwaukee beating the Lakers the other day as well, convincingly, I think it's looking likely that Giannis will win a back-to-back MVP and potentially soon get acknowledged as the best player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might consolidate that tag come into this season, especially without KD around. Kawhi is obviously giving a run for his money, but he just doesn't play enough games, and because of that, he'll never really get that number one tag.
Yeah, it's strange that Kawhi is resting so much, huh?
Still resting,
You've got to think about what that injury means to him. Like,
yeah.
What injury does he have? Like,
or it's just pure load management.
Yeah.
It's just pure load management. And
so you think with the turn of the decade, the handing of the torch as well, LeBron to...
I think it's imminent. the handing off the baton is pretty close. I mean, LeBron's not the clear-cut number one player anymore. He's in the top three for sure.
Yep.
But it's imminent. I think this is the end of this season that might happen. I've been skeptical of this player, but geez, he's proven me wrong. Luka Doncic.
Yep.
Just purely based on his stats, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give it to him. The fact that
he's been struggling the last couple of games, but he's been awesome all year, all season so far.
For me, he's like a Larry Bird.
Yeah.
2.0, really. Not purely because he's white, but I mean, a lot of people compare him to LeBron, and I think we've touched on it before, but he just doesn't have the athleticism. I think he's modelled his game on LeBron.
Yeah.
But it's more that Larry Bird, almost magic function.
It was like Bird, because Bird didn't really jump. I mean, Luka, look, he gets, less than a foot off the ground.
Yeah, exactly, and he's a great playmaker, scoring playmaker, right? So I expect him to really push up, into the upper echelons of the league.
Yeah, so you reckon you're going to get All-Star game this year?
For sure.
He is leading the voting, though.
Yeah, he's in for sure. I mean, he'll probably be starting, to be honest. The other storylines, I think we're going to talk about trades pretty soon, but other storylines, I think Carmelo to continue this golden run. He's on, but his team's not playing well.
Yeah, no, he's been doing well, actually, and people have been playing off him, and he's just getting the open three, just a good look, and then bang, he makes them pay.
So I think he's doing his bit. For a player that's been signed in November, starting, and he just had a 26-point game, I think, against New York as well. Never a brilliant defender, but, he's going alright. The other one I'm looking out for is Brooklyn. Yeah. The storylines around Kyrie. Yeah, apparently people are concerned about his almost willingness to be resilient against all these injuries he's accumulating as well.
Yep.
What kind of impact is that going to have on the team and KD as well, right? KD's signed up long term with this dude. We'll have to see how that plays
KD, what would you be thinking right now?
You'd be thinking, this guy's nuts, man. What did I sign up for? Oh, no. But Curry needs a strong first string player, and he'll fall into line. He's never the number one, I don't think. Perhaps in an weaker team. All right, well, we'll move on to our next topic. We wanted to talk about some trades.
Yeah.
And clearly some of the teams that we've watched need to make some moves, move around some pieces. One of them actually is LA.
Yep.
They need some type of a guard, shot creating guard, 3-point shooting guard as well, really. I mean, that's ideal. And what are their chips they have? They do have
You mean the Lakers?
Lakers, LA Lakers, I meant. LA Lakers. They're both relevant this year.
Yep.
There's a bit of talk that Kuzma might be on the move. The fact that he's gone against the Godfather said some shit.
Yeah.
Which won't do any good for him. But maybe he wants to move.
Yeah, maybe
he wants to be the man and start somewhere, right?
Yep.
So that's something there. The Sixers need to make a move as well. Their guard play again. It's just not enough. I mean, guys like Trey Burke are playing significant minutes, although it's great for him. But the fact that a guy like Trey Burke they're relying on to score and shoot is an issue. Any other teams that you think need to make moves?
I saw a couple of games of the Bulls, and I thought they're probably one or two pieces away from being a playoff team. I reckon they're just a little bit off, and one that has nowhere to move is the Blazers. They definitely need something else there, but they got nothing to trade.
Yeah, and they got rid of all those like in-between type players like Evan Turner, right? Mo Harkless and all these guys. That's what they had going on for them.
Yep.
And they just don't have anything there. That whole bench is just rookies and no-names. So I can understand why they're struggling.
Another one is probably Phoenix. Like, we thought they'd be better than where they are now. But
they started well.
Yeah.
But they're well below 500 now. So, funnily enough, only a couple of games behind 8th seed.
San Antonio.
Yeah, that just goes to show the bottom of the West is pretty weak as well. They're almost as weak as the East. Also, I think Houston and LA, I'm sure they'll be trying to make some moves as well. They got a couple of pieces that they can probably switch around.
Do you think Chris Paul will end up somewhere else?
I mean, he's got a huge contract, right? He's got a huge salary, probably up to like 40 mil a year. Probably another 2 seasons to go, 2.5 seasons to go.
Yeah, he's got to probably go do something, give up some of that coin.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either.
Don't think he will. And he might be enjoying himself at OKC because they're on a 9-1 run over the last 10 games.
Yep.
Which is great to see, right? Developing young team with a pretty solid leader. Maybe he'll embrace that role, and maybe he has already, which will be cool to see. Look, they're the main teams. The other one to really watch out for, there's a bit of talk around, is Karl Anthony Towns is unhappy.
Yep.
And apparently the Warriors are tracking him quite closely as well. Geez, if they get him, that's going to be
they were, in playoff contention, right? And then all that, Jimmy B drama and everything happened, and they've just dropped off.
And Wiggins has actually had a decent year as well, funnily enough. So you can't really blame it on Wiggins. He might be a first-time All-Star this year as well.
Yeah.
Or pushing towards it. So, I think I get why someone like Jimmy B would be frustrated, because I think he wants to be around real dogs, you know what I mean? Like real
people
hard
that
workers.
Want to, put in the work.
That's it. Get the best out of themselves. And he's seeing that in Miami, so.
Yeah, he's definitely seeing it in Miami. And, for them to be the third seed, if you look at their roster, right? It's a pretty damn good team.
Yep, absolutely. And lastly, John Wall's supposed to be coming back. Again, someone with a pretty big contract, but based on, I think he's had an Achilles, right? He's coming back from an Achilles, so we'll have to see how he goes. But
that's going to be hard.
Would other teams be interested in him? Is potentially, but with the Achilles and 40 mil again a season, probably unlikely.
And how old is he? He's
probably 30?
Like early 30s?
Early 30s, probably, 30, 31, I'd say. It's about that. All right. What do you think of the early All-Star vote count?
Yeah, I was saying, you got Giannis on one side, and you got Luka on the other. First time he's gonna be starting in his second year.
Yeah.
Not a little, bench player like Simmons was last year.
And I think he's a better player than Simmons already as well. The weird thing for me is players like Taco Fall getting votes. I don't know. This is, if fans are going to take the piss and really, vote for players like that, they might change up the voting system. I actually think I was listening to ESPN.
I thought they did change it up.
Well, everyone gets a say, right? Fans get a say, media gets a say, and coaches get a say for the reserves, which is good. But they might remove the fan vote if they do stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
So fans, vote reasonably. Don't take the piss.
Yep.
I think there'll be some new, a bunch of, with the changing of the decade, changing of the guard. I think we're going to see a whole new bunch of first-time All-Stars coming in, like Trae Young. Although Atlanta's been horrible, he's averaging 28 points a game. And I think about 8 assists a game. Probably the worst defender in the league. Yeah. But offensive threat is amazing.
He makes Melo look good.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of those types of players coming out. There's pure offense. Players like Pascal Siakam.
Pascal, I think he deserves
it. He's missed a bit of time, but just based on what he did last year as well, and his growth this year, deserves it. I really want to see both Tatum and Brown, given Celtics is number 2, right? They deserve. I think both of those guys deserve to be All Stars.
Yep. What do you think of the old white dude playing for the Lakers?
Old white dude,
Caruso. He looks like an old white dude.
Alex Caruso. Yeah, he's got some votes as well. See, that's like taking the piss.
Is that taking the piss?
Of course it is. He's a good player.
He is.
But he's not an all-star, right? We all know that. The other one I'd love to see... Man, a crazy stat, right? I think Derrick Rose is averaging, I think per 36 minutes or whatever it is, like 24 points more than his MVP season.
He's having an MVP
type
season, yeah.
In the East, right? I think he'd need to get a serious look in as well. Spencer Dinwiddie, will he get a look out in the East? Is Simmons an all-star? I don't know. I just feel like, is he an all-star? Because from what I've seen so far, and just his scoring has not improved.
Just look at everyone else, comparing to where everyone else is, I don't think he makes it this year. Because purely the fact that he's virtually stayed the same and everyone else has improved.
That's kind of how I feel as well. His game hasn't improved. He's probably a good distributor now, like a really solid one, but...
So I think he's improved where stats don't count. So he's improved defensively. People can see that. You can see the way he guards probably the best player on the other team, always. And but in terms of his offensive output, he has not improved. He's hit a couple of threes, but, got to be more consistent.
More than 2. We need more than 2. Yeah, and it might be the kick in the backside that he needs to have a great second half of the season as well. I think Jimmy Butler is an all-star as well. People are talking about Adebayo as an all-star. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, but he's playing well, but...
He's playing well, but no.
And the other one for Indiana, without Victor Oladipo playing Sabonis. I've struggled to say his name. His dad played in the league. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He might be a chance as well. Demontis.
Yeah. Sabonis.
Yes. Demontis Sabonis. There you go. Thanks for the clarification.
Yep.
Orlando is 8th. Currently 8th. Any All-Stars coming out of that team? I don't think Aaron Gordon's had an All-Star type season.
Not really. They've all been average.
Yep. What do you think of players like Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell?
Montrezl has been doing well, but I think he needs to be more consistent to be All-Star caliber.
Paul George automatic or no, because he missed games?
I think he missed games. I don't know if he's automatically back in.
CP3?
Yeah.
Given they rise up the ladder?
It's only recent though.
True, true. The other one is Donovan Mitchell. Utah's 6th. He's their best player. Will he finally break through to become an All-Star?
Yeah, well...
I think he's a chance.
He's a chance, but he has to elevate his game a bit more.
And the other one I'll have to say is might miss out again is Devin Booker, which is unfortunate for him. It's more his team than himself. Or is it him? Is he not capable of really elevating a team like that to the upper echelons? We got to wait and see. Last one, Draymond Green probably won't be an All-Star this year, right?
Yep. No, I don't think he'll make it this year either.
He's missed some games as well, and the team's playing.
The funny thing is, Steph is going to be in there, but is he going to play?
Oh, he might be actually ready by then as well, huh? I doubt it. I think he might hand that spot over to someone else. Yeah, right? It would be a bit strange.
Would you feel funny if you got it? If you were Steph, you got voted in.
If I was Steph, it's a bit like if I was Kobe or D Wade getting called up. I wouldn't feel funny.
Yeah,
because you're an all-star type player, right? So if they vote you in and you're healthy and you want to play, you don't want to rest, you play, right? Yep. I wouldn't feel guilty at all. Good for my resume, man.
Well, it was like Kobe. I think his last year he got voted in, right?
Yeah.
And I think he missed the year before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think the year before that, wasn't it, Kobe? Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, well, I think there's going to be a lot of first-time All-Stars coming up, changing of times, man. That's how it is. Time goes on. All right. Well, Tool of the week. I've got my tool. Yeah. My tool is Kyle Kuzma's trainer.
Yep.
For saying that Kawhi is a better player than LeBron, and for Kuzma to agree on social media. That is either deliberate or incredibly stupid. Either way, he's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
How about yourself? Other tools that I can think of? I think that's the main one for me. Yeah. And yeah, look, first pod for the year. We'll continue with it all and spread the message and keep growing the pod and the community. So spread the word, share, like, repost. That really helps us and helps you guys, hopefully as well, to be part of what we're doing.
Yep, definitely.
All right. Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year, and enjoy the rest of the NBA season.
Adios.
See you.